Every single website out there has a contact page with a form to fill out so that somebody landing on your website can actually fill out that form and provide you with their information, letting you know that they'd like more information about your product or services. Beyond that, and in particular in accounting and tax engagements, based on what I've experienced and seen, many of us have detailed information we need to capture about a client once they have, in fact, agreed to come in our door as a client. Smartsheet, as you've already seen, and I should say gotten a taste of, has the ability to create web forms which make it really easy and nice, in fact, to capture that information. Not only that, but because of all of the other features that Smartsheet offers, it makes it the perfect way to employ this kind of a process. And I'll give you a personal example as to how this has worked really well for me. Earlier this year, I hired a virtual assistant to help me with some of the inbound traffic that I was getting. And I have web forms based on what I've created in Smartsheet that capture this information. And because I have alerts set up, what happens is the minute somebody fills out one of these forms, an alert goes out to both the assistant and myself. So that without me having to intervene at all, the assistant responds to that alert by getting in and either emailing the prospect or making a comment, and for that matter, additionally making comments to let me know that she has in fact followed up with those prospects. This is really powerful stuff, and this is really important to be able to do. And especially if you're using Smartsheet for everything that we've already talked about, this just follows right in line with everything else. And I think you're going to agree with me when I say that once you've seen how nice this works, you're going to want to be doing this for all of your forms for any sort of capture purposes on your website. Let's go see what this looks like. So we want to create a form that we can put up on our website so that when a new client's coming in the door or a prospective client, a lead is coming in the door, we can send them to a page and say, do me a favor, fill out this form. That's why we have all the information we need when we need it, and we don't have to, frankly, take the time sitting with them while they write out this information, nor deal with sloppy handwriting and all the other kinds of things that get in the way when we're trying to get information from our clients or potential clients. So, if you are, let's say, a tax professional who is doing this for your tax practice, and let's say you're one of those, and I know many like this, who will only deal with companies, right? And then, of course, if you're doing somebody's company, you'll do their individuals. But the point is you don't want to just do individual tax returns and simple 1040s. A lot of tax professionals sort of specialize this way. In that case, then your primary column is you're probably going to want to make that the name of the company. So company name. Otherwise, it would just be the individual. But then we're going to want to have a primary contact. And we probably want to split this up. First name. And while we're here, I'll just copy that onto the clipboard so that I can go into the next column, paste that in, and just change first to last. It's all about reducing the number of keystrokes. Last name. Now, if you read the write-up, we talked about security. You're not going to want to ask for social security numbers here. What we're going to do, and I'm going to show you this in a little bit, is we're going to use a Box integration where you can actually attach a document from Box in here so that it's connected, but this way you don't have the security concerns that you would have by simply putting a social security number right in here. And if you've used Box, then I'll show you real quick. If you're ever concerned, you can lock the file so that even though it's linked in Smartsheet, nobody can get access to it unless you choose to unlock it. Nice little feature that Box has. And Box is especially known for its for being one of the most sophisticated in terms of security, I think, as far as all these file sharing services go. So we're going to get the company name, the primary name, the contact name, last name. We probably want street address. Right, we'll do city, state, zip. Insert column right. We're going to need a few of these. So one thing you can do if you need a few columns is just highlight, oops, I don't want to move them. Shift right arrow saves the day there. And let's insert 4 columns to the right. That way we just get a bunch at once. And we want phone, mobile. I like to kind of make mobile the primary. Phone, office. Once you've got all the columns laid out based on all the information you want to gather, certainly we want email address. Then you can set up the form. So I'm not really showing you anything here that I didn't kind of show you when we did the timesheet. It's just a different purpose, so it's a different layout. So let's go to Web Forms, and we're going to create a new form. And again, by default, it pretty much sticks all our fields in here. So a lot of the work kind of gets done for us. We certainly don't need column 11. And then we're going to add in the file upload field. File upload, and again, I want this at the very bottom. Sometimes it's easier to drop it in like there and then move it down. There we go. And in the file upload field, I'm going to put in some help text and say, please upload documents here. Now, again, if they're uploading things like prior year tax returns, which has Social Security number information on it and things that we don't necessarily want to track this way, then you may want to consider, instead of using the file upload option here, we go back to Box, and like any of these file sharing services like Box or Sharefile or any of them, you can create the folder for the client. And in Box, the way this works is you would share this folder, and then you can provide them with the link to upload the documents into Box. Now, once that happens, what you can do is you can have them submit the form based on whatever information they do want, that you do want to capture from here. When you're using web forms in Smartsheet, there are a couple of nice little features that serve as add-ons to what you can do. One of the things is if you have a paid account with Smartsheet, you have the ability to remove some of the Smartsheet language. So you can truly have it branded and make the look and feel pretty consistent with the way your own website looks. The other thing you can do with the web form is you can embed it, which means you can put it right into the framework of a page that you have on your website, again, making it look seamless. And you can also provide a link directly to it. So you have options in terms of how you share that form, and for that matter, put it into people's hands. So if you want to, you can email the link to somebody and say, here, go fill out this form, or you can embed it in a page in your website and email the link to that page in your website and have people enter the information that way. And then, by the way, in the timesheet one, I showed you how to just use this URL to just copy and paste it into a browser such that you could email that to somebody. But if we want to get the embed code, then you click More over here, and you get embed code. Now, you don't have to be a web designer, but you might want to consult with the person who deals with your website and just give them this code and tell them I need a page set up on my website and I need this code dropped in. Once you do that, it will put the form on your website. It'll look exactly like it does when you use the email link and just drop it into a tab, of course, except that it'll be kind of in the framework of your website. But here's what it looks like essentially. And so this is very easy to do, as you can see. And this way you can automate the process. You get it electronically, and as you saw with the timesheet, once somebody fills it out, the information is going to come in right here. So let's quickly fill this out, right? So I'm going to say schoolofbookkeeping.com. Look at that, it knows me. Seth, David. I'll skip the address information. I forgot to show you rather, where you can decide whether a field is compulsory or not, meaning are they required to fill it out. So if you go to Edit on any given field, you have the option to say it's a required field. And you probably should do that with most of them, right? You certainly want to force them to give you their company name and the contact information. You have to obviously think through which things should be optional, which things should be compulsory. So since I didn't choose that option for any of them, I think I can safely skip over a lot of this just so you can get the idea. And we'll just do Seth at schoolofbookkeeping.com here, and we'll click Submit. And it says, thank you, your response has been added to my Smartsheet. That's wonderful. So let me go back over to Smartsheet, and we'll refresh. And then, assuming you had also instructed me to put my to give you my sensitive information, and you put it into Box, then what we do is we come over here, we'll click on the paperclip, attach, and there's your Box option. Choose that. It's going to ask me to log in. Go to LastPass. Interestingly enough, it's opening it up in the background there, or I have to log into LastPass. Once you get the password information entered, you're going to get this warning, and I'm going to say no, I'm not going to ask Chrome to remember this. that project management can read and write all files and folders. So I'm going to grant access to Box. And now let's go back over here now that we've granted the access, and it brings up, it's got my folders here. So let's go into my, where is it? My Smartsheet sample client docs folder. And then I'm going to choose sensitive client information goes here, .docx. Click OK, and then close. And that way, based on my conversation with Ken, who I believe is in charge of security with Smartsheet, he said this kind of keeps you safe and protected. And so security-wise, he says there's not anything to worry about, but it's a matter of compliance. And what he really meant by that is they can have the best security protocols in the world, but if somebody gets a hold of your Smartsheet password, then they have access. And at least you can, if that happened, you could lock them out of Box if you needed to. So, based on, this is based on his suggestion to me when I expressed the concern that I knew people were going to have about security. But that's it, my friends. This is how you can use the contact form or the web forms aspect of Smartsheet to, again, streamline your processes so that, going back to what I said at the very beginning of this course, by streamlining processes like this, you cut down on the time it takes, which means that you'll be that much more easily able to complete your projects with, say it with me, time and room to spare. That, my friends, is about everything I can show you for now on using web forms in Smartsheet, and I've now given you 2 contexts in which you can use it. We have one more lesson in this course. We're going to take a look at setting up a very simple project budget. And really I'm doing this just so I can show you a little bit more of the formula writing capabilities that Smartsheet offers. As always, if you have questions, please go over to the answers forum if you're an enrolled student at schoolofbookkeeping.com. If you are not enrolled, please take advantage of our public forums, such as our group on Facebook called Accountants, Bookkeepers, and Business Owners. As always, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you had fun and learned something, and I look forward to seeing you in the next, and for now, the final lesson in this course. Now you have a really nice way of capturing information through the web that's pertinent to your business, whether it's for a specific project or for your business at large, such as I've highlighted in the forms of capturing information about leads and or clients. Now we're going to look at one final thing, which I think is a good way to kind of underscore everything else that we've done so far. And we're going to take a look at that in the next lesson, specifically writing formulas in Smartsheet.